Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Several people rushed to hospital after Mandela highway crash. Several people were rushed to hospital following a traffic accident involving a minibus and a garbage truck on the Mandela highway in St. Andrew. Reports are that about 5:45 p.m., the minibus was traveling along the roadway towards Kingston when it collided with a garbage truck that was traveling in the same direction and overturned. Health Ministry offers booster to all Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine recipients. Beginning today, Jamaica will offer a booster shot to all those 18 years and older who have received a single dose of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The booster can be given with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine 2 to 6 months after the administration of the primary vaccination, or with the Pfizer vaccine 6 months after the primary vaccination, the Ministry of Health reported. Also starting today, adults 60 years and older and healthcare workers will be given a booster dose of the other COVID-19 vaccines. This development comes in the wake of the ministry's finalization of its evaluation and benefit analysis of administering an additional dose of the authorized COVID-19 vaccines to key members of the population. The ministry recommends that a booster dose of the Pfizer vaccine be offered 6 months or more after the completion of the initial doses that may have considered of either mRNA Pfizer or viral vector Pfizer, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. The move is in line with a cabinet decision for boosters to be given to key populations at increased risk of severe illness from COVID-19, increased risk of warning and or low protection, and who could pose increased risk of transmission to vulnerable populations. These key populations are essential for maintaining health system capacity. Those eligible for a booster shot are to visit the nearest vaccination site with their vaccination card and government-issued ID. Plan in place to move Jamaica towards becoming a republic, stated Prime Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government has put together a plan to move Jamaica towards becoming a republic. The issue of whether Jamaica should become a republic was reignited after Barbados made the change recently to become the world's newest republic and appointed a president. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there is no question that Jamaica has to become a republic.
As we move towards our 60th, and I know that there are persons who have a dream about what Jamaica should be. I have a dream too, but I've opened my eyes long ago, so I have a vision of what Jamaica should be. I am in a position to achieve, to do, to act, to make it unmistakable that this is an independent country. By our actions, there is no question that Jamaica has to become a republic. There's no question. Who is arguing that point? People who have argued that point could have done it 20, 30, 40 years ago. We have put together a plan to move towards that in such a way that when we do it, it is a meaningful, substantial transformation in function and form. That is what we're going to do. Because if it was words alone, it would have been done long ago. We have so many issues in this country to address. We have to be strategic about them. We have to deal with crime and corruption. Our 60th is a big year, and we will do many things to truly establish who we are as a people.
Companies warn to brace for an increase in sick leave applicants if Omicron reaches Jamaica. Associate Professor at the School of Public Health at the University of the West Indies, UTech, Dr. Alverston Bailey, is urging companies to anticipate an increase in sick leave applications from staff if the Omicron variant of COVID-19 reaches Jamaica. This as the World Health Organization, WHO, has concluded the variant is more transmissible than the Delta strain, reduces vaccine efficiency, but causes less severe symptoms. Dr. Bailey says data has shown that Omicron variant is a combination of the Delta variant and the common cold.
We are going to have a significant increase in COVID infections over the next few weeks to months. But the good news is that the severity of the symptoms should be milder than in the Delta, with the Delta variant. However, the group that is mostly at risk at this point in time will be the unvaccinated. And I've been reflecting on this particular issue and wonder if the government is aware of all the data that is emerging. because the government is in fact preparing for a fourth surge, and that fourth surge is essentially hospital oriented, which means that they are increasing the oxygen capacity of the hospital, messaging and vaccinating. Vaccination definitely confers on you significant protection, especially the booster shot, because Pfizer posted a paper which showed that the third Pfizer vaccine increased the effectiveness 25 times. So therefore, what the government should be focusing on now is giving our citizens a reality check. Based on the data from South Africa, major impact we are going to experience from the Omicron variant will be the impact on the workplace. All the workplaces must start getting ready for potential significant increase in sick leave. A lot of persons who are averse to vaccines and they say, so what about natural immunity? As the data unfolds, the evidence is getting stronger and stronger that natural immunity is not protecting us.
Meaning if you had COVID already,
you are most likely going to get it again. And it seems to be particularly fond of young people. And so the young people who to date are essentially indifferent to the threat of COVID, I noticed. It should be bear in mind that the variant does seem to attack the young and can cause fairly severe illnesses.
Breaking the virtuous cycle, Prime Minister calls for students from poorest backgrounds to go to the best schools. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there is need for a system where students from the low-income households are channeled into what he calls the best schools so that they can be exposed to better opportunities. The Prime Minister says to break inequality in the society, the brightest students should not be placed in those so-called best schools.
Can we honestly imagine a Jamaica where we are not taking brightest kids and putting them in the best school? But that is what you need if you're going to break the inequality in the society. You need to get the students from the poorest communities, from the poorest households, into the best schools to be exposed to the best teachers and the best facilities and the best infrastructure. The prevailing thought is that the government must build it. Before there was any public administration in education, it was the churches and the private trusts that built schools in Jamaica. We still have that in some form, but the effort is largely focused on the existing schools. So alumni associations focus on their schools. And so those schools get investment. They produce persons who do well, who then reinvest in the school. And it keeps that loop. The question is, how do you get into those schools? It is the best grades that get into the schools. It's a virtuous cycle of people who do well, who will continue to do well generationally. The challenge that we face is how do we get the students who are not going to get the best grades because they're not coming from the households with the income that will ensure that they get the time and attention and care to get the best grades. And that has been the inequity in our society, that even people who will not get into the best school see themselves as the opportunity to get into the best school is through the system of the best grades.
Just do you. A typical day for 26-year-old Kadeen Vidal would include serving customers at Charles Garden Market in St. James and attending online classes. Maintaining a steady balance between her job as a produce vendor and as a student of the University of Technology Jamaica, she managed to obtain first-class honors for her specialty, culinary arts and management, for a Bachelor's of Science in Hospitality and Tourism Management. I am happy. I worked very hard for it. I've had sleepless nights. My sister, my brother, friends and my best friend at school always supported me. They didn't look down on me, she reported. Kadeen said when her chances of going on to work and travel program became uncertain at the onset of the novel coronavirus pandemic last year, she decided to venture into market vending to help with her school expenses. She said while she enjoys selling at the market, it gets a bit challenging sometimes. You have to run away from the metropolis. Sometimes it's hard and you just don't want to do it anymore. Another time, the market can be nice because the goods are selling, she said. Kadeen's stall is loaded with tomatoes, sweet peppers, Irish potatoes and cabbage. She also started a farm at her home in Sandy Bay, Hanover. Explaining how she managed her time in school while vending, she said, for example, I would have online classes from 8 to 10 a.m. Since I would be at the market, I would go inside the bus or find a quieter place at the market just to be at class. Sometimes the teacher wanted to ask a question and I wanted to respond, but because the market has a lot of noise, you can't really respond, but I still attended classes. It would be even tougher for her when she had practical assignments. I had to try and think ahead of time. If I had a practical on Monday, I couldn't buy the goods Sunday to sell Monday. I would choose Wednesday and Thursday and give myself time to sell off the goods before our next practical assignment, Colleen explained. The biggest lesson Kadeen has learned since becoming a market vendor is to be herself. Just do you. People are going to criticize you, but you know why you're doing it. Why you are doing what you want, always try to help someone along the way. Sometimes we think we are really struggling, but if we get to know other people's stories, we will get to understand that where we are in life, we should thank God, she said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.